Welcome to the deep dive. Millions of people, they download language apps every Friday night. They feel incredibly motivated.
Oh, absolutely. They sit down and they study for 4 solid hours on a Saturday.
Right. And by Monday, they completely quit.
Hmm.
So today we are looking at a really big question.
Yes. Why do so many of us fail to learn a new language? And, well, how can we actually build a routine that works?
It is such a common story, isn't it?
It really is. And I want to say right away to you listening, if this has happened to you, it is not your fault.
Yeah, it's not about being smart. Right?
Exactly. It is not about lacking willpower. The real issue is that we rely on sudden bursts of excitement.
But excitement always fades.
It does. To learn a language, you do not need excitement. You just need a simple daily routine.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But let's unpack that a bit. When we talk about building a routine, there is a golden rule we have to keep in mind, right?
Yes. The golden rule is that consistency beats intensity.
Consistency beats intensity.
Exactly. Doing a little bit of work every single day is much, much better than doing a lot of work only once in a while.
Right.
Like studying English for 20 minutes a day for 6 months will help you incredibly more than studying for 6 hours one time a month.
Wait, hold on, though. I mean, I understand 20 minutes is easier for a busy schedule, but wouldn't a huge 6-hour cram session get me further ahead in the short term?
It feels like it should, yeah. But the human brain simply does not store information that way.
Really? Why not?
Well, there is this concept called spaced repetition. Your brain is a wonderful machine, but it needs time to process new things. If you look at a new word for an hour straight, your brain just gets tired.
Oh, I see. So it throws the information away.
Exactly. To keep the word, you have to space out the learning. You see the word, take a break, and then hear it again the next day.
So you kind of visit it again and again.
Yes. Think of your memory like a path in a forest. If you walk down the path only one time, the grass just grows right back.
Right. The path disappears completely.
But if you walk down that exact same path every single day, just a little bit, the grass gets pushed down.
And eventually it becomes a clear dirt road.
That is a perfect way to picture it. Spaced repetition creates that permanent road in your mind. That is how short-term memory becomes long-term memory.
That is amazing.
And that is our mission today. We want to guide you step by step to build your own stress-free English routine, one that relies on those clear paths.
I love that mission. So, if I am sold on this daily habit, my first instinct is just to grab a beginner book and start reading.
Right, just jump right in. But jumping in might be a mistake. We need to find your true starting point first.
Because you cannot plan a journey if you do not know where you're standing.
Exactly. And the biggest trap learners fall into is just guessing their English level. They almost always guess wrong.
What is the danger there? What happens when people guess?
Well, it goes one of two ways. First, people might overestimate their level. They buy a really complex English novel, or they watch a fast comedy show made for native speakers.
And I imagine they just get totally lost.
Completely lost. They do not understand the vocabulary. They get frustrated, and then they quit.
Yeah, that is a heavy psychological toll. They think they are bad at English.
Right, but they really just picked the wrong material. And the second thing that happens is the opposite.
They underestimate their level.
Yes, they stay with very easy beginner materials for a very long time. It feels safe, but they are wasting their time. They get bored.
Because they're not challenging their brain with anything new. So guessing is bad. We need a real way to measure this right at home.
We do. And a very easy listening test is to go online and find a 5-minute video in English that you have never seen before.
Like a video about cooking or travel.
Anything you like. But here is the most important rule. You have to turn the subtitles off.
Oh, wow. No reading allowed, just listening.
Just listen. And pay attention to how much you grasp. If you understand about 70 to 80% of what they are saying, that is your perfect level.
Wait, 70 to 80%. So I do not need to understand every single word.
Not at all. If you understand 100% of the video, it is too easy for you. You are not learning anything new.
Right. And if you only get 20%, it is too hard.
Exactly. 70 to 80% is the absolute sweet spot.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
What about writing? How do we test our grammar without a stressful exam?
For writing, grab a piece of paper and write a short paragraph about your day. Maybe what you ate for breakfast or where you walked.
Okay, keep it simple.
Very simple. But as you write, pay close attention to how you feel inside. Notice which grammar rules make you feel nervous.
Nervous, like if I am unsure how to spell a past tense verb?
Yes. Or if you feel confused about using in or on. That little nervous feeling is wonderful. It acts like a map.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
It shows you exactly what you need to study next.
That completely changes the perspective.
Oh,
Instead of being afraid of confusion, the confusion points right at the target. This whole idea makes me think of going to the gym.
how so? Tell me more about that.
Well, if you try to lift a massive heavy car, you get hurt and you quit.
Right, it is too heavy.
But if you lift a tiny feather, you do not get stronger. To build real muscle, you need a weight that is just slightly heavy. It pushes you, but you can safely lift it.
That is a brilliant analogy. And it connects perfectly to a simple concept in language learning called comprehensible input plus one.
Comprehensible input plus one. What does that actually mean for our listener?
Think of comprehensible input as the material you already understand easily. It is your comfort zone.
Okay.
The plus one means you add just one small step outside that comfort zone. So your reading or listening should be mostly easy, but with just a few new words.
So you're lifting that weight that is just slightly heavy.
Exactly.
Okay, so we found our perfect weight. We know where we are starting. But knowing where you are starting doesn't tell you where you are going. We need a compass. We need to set some real goals.
Yes, this is where many learners lose their way. They set vague goals like, I want to get better at English.
Or they say, I just want to be fluent. But isn't fluency the ultimate goal for everyone?
It is a beautiful dream, but it is not a plan. Wanting to be fluent does not tell you what to do on a Tuesday morning. It doesn't tell you which podcast to play.
Right, it's too big. So what are some clear examples of specific goals?
We can organize them into a few simple categories. First, we have functional goals, which are about surviving real situations.
Like speaking in a work meeting.
Exactly. I want to speak in a 10-minute meeting without switching back to my native language. That is very specific.
What about exams? I know a lot of people study for tests.
Yes. Exam goals are another category, like needing a specific score for university. Then we have media goals.
Oh, like wanting to watch a movie without subtitle.
Exactly. And finally, career goals, like wanting to write confident business emails to clients.
Okay, I see the difference. But how does that specific goal actually change my daily 15-minute routine?
The goal completely changes what you practice. If your goal is a university exam, you must practice complex grammar tests. But if your goal is just a media goal like wanting to watch movies, you do not need to do difficult grammar tests. You must spend your time listening to voices and shows.
Wait, let me stop you right there to make sure I am getting this. Are you saying if my goal is to enjoy movies, I shouldn't worry about perfect speaking grammar right now?
That is exactly what I'm saying. If your only goal is to understand a movie, spending hours worrying about perfect past tense speaking grammar is a huge waste of your time.
That is incredibly freeing. I think people feel so much pressure to be perfect at everything all at once.
You really do. Focus your energy only on your specific goal. You can always change your goal later.
Okay, so the goal tells us what to focus on. But how do we balance the actual skills in our brain? There is reading, writing, listening, speaking. It is a lot to juggle.
It is. So let's split those 4 skills into 2 simple groups. The first group is input.
Input, like receiving the language.
Yes, it is coming into your brain from the outside world. The 2 input skills are listening and reading.
Listening and reading flow in. Got it. What is the second group?
The second group is output. This is producing the language. It comes from inside your brain and goes out into the world. That is speaking and writing.
Input is receiving, output is producing. So if I am a beginner, how much time do I spend on each? Do I split it evenly, 50-50?
No, and this is a crucial rule. You cannot produce words that you have never heard.
Right. You need the raw materials first.
Exactly. Imagine trying to bake a cake without buying flour or sugar. If you are a beginner, you should spend about 60% of your time on input, listening and reading.
So you absorb the language deeply before you push it back out.
Yes. Let your brain be a sponge first. Just soak it all up.
That takes a lot of pressure off. I think many learners feel guilty if they aren't speaking on day one. Let's break down these skills. You mentioned there are 2 different ways to listen.
Yes, we have passive listening and active listening. Passive is when you have English playing in the background of your life, like when you are washing the dishes.
So you are not focusing on every single word.
Right, but your brain is quietly getting used to the sounds, the melody, and the rhythm of the language.
I do that with music all the time. I know the melody perfectly without knowing the lyrics.
Yeah.
What is active listening then?
Active listening is when you sit down and give the audio your full focus.
Mhm.
You take a short 3-minute clip, you listen closely, you pause, and you write down new words.
You are actively working with the material. And there's a specific technique called shadowing, right? How does that work?
Shadowing is a fantastic exercise. You listen to a short English sentence, you pause the audio, and then you repeat that sentence out loud.
Okay.
But you try to match the exact rhythm and emotion of the speaker.
Oh, so you follow their voice like a shadow on the ground? If they sound excited, I sound excited.
Exactly. It trains your mouth and your ears at the same time. Now let's look at the output skills. Let's talk about speaking.
Speaking is terrifying for a lot of adult learners. We are so afraid of making mistakes in front of people.
We are. So the safest, most gentle way to start speaking is called self-talk.
Self-talk. You mean literally talking to yourself?
Yes. You simply narrate your own day out loud in English. If you are alone in your kitchen, you say, I am walking to the fridge. I am making a cup of coffee.
That is brilliant. No one else is listening, so you cannot be embarrassed. It takes away all the social pressure.
Exactly. You are just getting your mouth used to making the physical shapes of the words. It builds muscle memory.
What about reading and writing? To be honest, writing always feels like heavy schoolwork to me.
It does not have to feel like school. For reading, just read easy stories for fun, things that make you smile. And for writing, just write 3 to 5 simple sentences in a notebook daily.
Just keep it incredibly small and easy.
Yes. But here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when we start mixing these 4 skills together?
Oh, what does happen?
This is where the magic happens. We call it the interaction effect. When you combine skills, it creates much stronger paths in your brain.
Can you walk us through an example of combining them in a normal day?
Sure. Let's say you have 15 minutes. First, you listen to a short audio clip about dogs. That is your listening skill.
Okay.
Next, you write 3 simple sentences about what you just heard. That is writing. Finally, you stand up and speak those 3 sentences out loud to yourself. That is speaking.
Wow. So you just practiced the exact same English words in 3 completely different ways.
Yes. Your brain sees the word, hears the word, and speaks the word. It creates a complete circle of understanding.
Okay, we have the tools, we understand the skills, but we have to face reality. People are working long hours, we are all tired. How do we fit this into a busy life?
We return to our golden rule. Little and often. 15 minutes a day is truly all you need to start.
15 minutes daily is definitely better than a huge 3-hour session on Sunday.
It turns practice from a chore into a normal part of your day, like brushing your teeth.
That is true. You never skip brushing your teeth because you were too busy. But even with a 15-minute plan, people stumble. What are the common mistakes we need to avoid?
There are 3 big mistakes. Mistake number 1 is all input, zero output. You listen to podcasts for months, but never try to speak or write a single word.
So you can understand the language beautifully,
Right.
but when you try to talk, your brain freezes.
Exactly. No words come out. You must balance the input and the output.
You have to practice the push, not just the pull. Or what is the second mistake?
Chasing perfection. Waiting until your grammar is finally perfect before you start speaking to others.
I am definitely guilty of the perfection trap. I want to build the entire sentence in my head, check every grammar rule, and then speak. But the conversation is already over by then.
Exactly. Waiting for perfection is backwards. Your grammar becomes perfect because you speak and make mistakes.
So we have to learn to make beautiful mistakes. I love how that sounds. It takes the shame away.
Mistakes are how the brain learns. And the final big mistake to avoid is overloading your schedule. Planning 2 hours a day when you only have 20 minutes of free time.
You will just fail to hit your goal, feel guilty, and quit entirely. Be deeply honest about your time. Plan for 15 minutes.
Exactly.
So we have our safe 15-minute plan. But let us be honest. Some days we wake up and we just lose our motivation completely. We do not want to practice.
And that is completely normal. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. You need a system that survives your bad days.
How do we build a system that works even when we are tired?
The absolute best trick for this is called habit stacking. Habit stacking means you take your new English practice and you attach it to an old habit that you already do every single day.
Let me see if I understand. It makes me think of catching a ride on a train that is already moving. You drink your morning cup of coffee every day no matter what.
Right.
So you just attach 5 minutes of English listening to that cup of coffee.
The coffee happens, so the English happens.
That is exactly how it works in the brain. You tie the new hard thing to the old easy thing. They become one action.
That is a simple way to think about it.
Another powerful way to survive bad days is to do a milestone check-in.
What is a milestone check-in? Do you remember that 5-minute video without subtitles we used to test your starting level?
Yes, the one where we aimed for 70% understanding.
Right. Save that exact video. Practice your English for 15 minutes a day for 1 whole month. Then go back and watch that exact same video again.
Oh, I see.
You will be amazed. Words that sounded like noise a month ago will suddenly make sense.
Seeing your own clear progress gives you a massive boost of energy. It proves the hard work is paying off.
It really does.
Before we wrap up, let's talk very quickly about tools. There are thousands of apps and websites out there. It can feel completely overwhelming.
Keep it incredibly simple. Choose just one app or one notebook that you actually enjoy using. Using one simple tool consistently is so much better than downloading 20 apps and never opening them.
The tool doesn't matter. The consistency matters.
Oh.
Well, we have covered a lot of very important ground today. Let's slow down and clearly summarize the main takeaways for you, the listener.
First, and most importantly, consistency is your best friend. A little bit every day beats a lot all at once. 15 minutes a day is all you need to change your brain.
Second, find your true starting level. Find the weight that is just slightly heavy for you to lift.
Third, set specific, real-world goals. Know exactly why you are learning. Let the goal guide your practice.
Fourth, balance your skills. Mix your listening, speaking, reading, and writing together. And remember, narrating your own life while making coffee is perfect, stress-free practice.
And finally, attach your new practice to a simple daily habit. Stack it with your morning routine so you never ever forget. Let the moving train carry you forward.
We want to thank you, the listener, so much for taking the time to sit and learn with us today. You now have everything you need to start your 15-minute habit today. You can absolutely do this.
We truly believe that. Just take it one small step and one single day at a time. Be patient with yourself.
But before we say our final goodbye, we want to leave you with one provocative thought. Something for you to deeply consider after you turn off this deep dive.
It is an important question about how we live our lives.
We have spent all this time today exploring how repeating small 15-minute habits can completely rewire your physical brain to learn a whole new language.
That is an amazing power.
It really is. But think about this. If this little and often approach works so incredibly well for English, what other difficult area of your life could you completely transform with just 15 minutes of focus a day?
Exactly. Maybe it is learning a new physical skill, like playing the piano.
Or maybe it is improving a relationship with a friend. What else could 15 small minutes change for you?
It is a beautiful question to think about. Thank you again for being with us today. Have a wonderful, peaceful rest of your day, and happy practicing.
Take care, everyone. We will talk to you next time. Goodbye.